Well, it was the biggest financial saga a few years ago, and many would have thought that by now the customers of defunct MenzGold will be going home smiling to the bank because of the assurances by the company that it will defray its cost and pay off investment funds. But years on, the funds remain locked up and many customers are mounting pressure on government to act fast and to at least give some respite to many of them who they claim are dying as a result of the panic attacks due to the MenzGold saga. Today, the Attorney General is announcing that 39 new charges will be slapped on CEO of defunct MenzGold company, Nanapia Mensah Namwan is back in the news, but the aggrieved customers of MenzGold say there's more to the story and they want government to, do a few more disclosures to them. Joining us now is Fred Forson, convener for the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of MenzGold. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Blessed.
Yeah, and I can see that from your response. You're not too happy about the way things are going. We'll hear about your concerns shortly, Fred. But here's what we need to know. We need to give you a background of what's involved, how much is involved, what the assurances have been so far. Government has also indicated to us that the assets of Namwan were frozen at some point. How much is involved? Joining us now, data analyst, Joy Research Desk, Isaac Ofiaje is on with us just to help us with the discussion. Isaac, let's get to the figures. 39 new charges. We'll talk about the charges later. But how much is involved here?
Right, Blessed. So the MenzGold saga is big. And the reason why it's big is because you are looking at an investment portfolio or an investment worth some 1.68 billion Ghana cedis. Then in 2018, if you should quantify this, it was somewhere around $200 million. Now it will be around $168 million if you are using $1 is to 10 cedis. We're also looking at 16,000 investors who probably, got into this investment scheme, which many have said were a bit fraudulent in terms of its dealings. Many said that they were actually trapped by the high interest rate, where some were even earning close, between 7 to 10% in terms of the coupon payments per month, depending on the, the investment that you make. But the developing story and what we know is that on July 30th, MenzGold actually put out that all customers who believe that they have legitimate claims with them should file their document. They should submit their document through a certain process. And that after that, MenzGold was going to go ahead to...
And obviously the decision by MenzGold was that they were going to do the validation and
process
then
this document.
Go ahead
and the customers who will be deemed to have valid documents will be given the green light. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I was just reiterating the point that you're making, that indeed the announcement at the time was that MenzGold was going to do the validation, and then when you purchase this so-called scratch card, you'd be way through to getting your deposit.
Absolutely. They came to give clarity on the scratch card and the fact that they weren't going to charge that 600 and I think more than 600 Ghana cedis that they were demanding in the first place. But we've seen some of, the MenzGold, investors saying that once they went through the process, they've seen text messages saying that, you have to make some payments and all of that. And they feel that this is also another way that they could be swindled. But MenzGold has been speaking. They've been giving updates on this validation process that they're actually embarking on. According to them, all the validation that were actually submitted through the process that they asked people to do so, about 60% of them were deemed not, to have some sort of defect. And as a result of that, the process could not go through. Just 40% of all the tendered, documents could have had the legitimate or valid document that probably MenzGold were looking for. And I would like to read for you what MenzGold mean when they say your validation is actually not valid. They are trying to say that there were 10 characteristics of this 60%, validation document that was submitted via the process. One, they said some of them had irregularities or inconsistency of the records on the face of the document. So in essence, what people submitted did not sync with the.
In fact, if we're to do the mathematics now, that will mean that out of the 16,000, having 60% gone already will be a significant number out of that number. So NAM1 will be left with, I guess, less than 5,000 people to deal with, to settle.
Absolutely, less than 5,000 people.
That's the effect of it. That's the effect of it. Okay. Well, Isaac unfortunately gone because of the network issues. Fred is laughing at, obviously, the claims being made by MenzGold. I'll come back to that data. But Isaac, yes, and that's the implication that would have lost 5,000 or 6,000 more. And NAM1 would simply be left with just 5,000 to settle. Because, mind you, he's indicating that he settled about 5,000 already.
So virtually has finished paying.
Isaac, that's the claim from MenzGold, right?
And even with this 40%, NAM1 is saying that if your validation actually went through, let me read verbatim what he said. He said, all valid transactions are assigned a full date settlement, a definite date, clearly indicating on their eligibility reported to be honored by a direct bank wire transfer. And now there's one other interesting bit to this whole NAM1 situation and MenzGold situation, that they are saying that they have a challenge, and the challenge they have is that they can't go ahead to, establish, offices across the country, and so they are going to use the digital means or the online means to make sure that they go through all of this process. So it's not going to be face to face; it's going to be, through, digital transfers. You send in your validation, they go through it. If it is deemed appropriate, they'll send you a message. And about 40% of those who, you sent their documents, according to MenzGold, had the required document that they demanded. And they've given them definite dates that they are going to go ahead with the disbursement.
And this will be, and this will be which day?
They did not state the date, but what we know is that they are making plans to make sure they give them a certain definite date, to go ahead with the disbursement. But as to whether it will be next month, next 2 months, the press release that came out did not specify. But what we do know is that MenzGold says that they are making plans to make sure that whose validation went through will actually have their disbursement.
I see. Isaac Ofeaje, data analyst here at Joy News. Fred Forson in studio with us. Fred, have you gone through the process of doing your validation already? Have you bought the scratch card just to check if your money is still in
but
there?
I don't think I should waste my energy and time to be involved or to be scammed by
you don't want your money back.
The people we have unfortunately identified as more or less Yahoo operatives.
You don't want your money back?
No,
but you've been asking for your money.
This is a fraudulent system he has put in place, and a confused man, somebody who came to fame by exploiting the weakness in our system. He realized that he could associate himself with politicians first. He could associate himself and use celebrities to sell the product so that he will be accepted. He could associate himself with the religious bodies and they accept him. Then he went further to meet with our traditional bodies because he believed that these are people who are following. So when he meets them, when he mingles with them, and these people give him endorsement, the generality of the people of Ghana will buy into it.
But Fred,
so
the point
we have seen that.
When NAM1 was paying you the interest on all of your investments that you made at MenzGold, it was good time for you.
It was good time, but blessed.
So why
like I said yesterday, we have learned through a hard way. We learn every day. Learning is cumulative.
Right.
So we have learned through the hard way that these are the sort of people we are working with. I mean, look at this ridiculous validation and the verification. I mean, who survived that validation? Because MenzGold issue has assumed a national proportion. So MenzGold alone cannot sit in the backyard and say that we have done validation, come and check.
Yeah.
Who supervises it? You can as well go out there, delete the names of the people. Look at what he's saying, 60%, like the mathematics you did.
Yeah.
So now he's left with around 5,000 or more. Yeah. And he says that he has paid 5,000. So virtually he has finished paying everybody. That's what he's working up to. To the extent that even those who more or less didn't listen to us, our caution, went ahead, purchased the scratch card. He checked and they give him a statement that your document is valid. There's this gentleman, I use his name because it's on Twitter, one Daniel Kufiedu. He checked and they told him valid. Then they themselves requested that he presents his bank details. After presenting the bank details, he goes back to check again and this one shows invalid. At that, the same person, he has paid for the scratch card. Is this not fraud? It is not Yahoo operations.
I see.
What else? What else should we describe it? To the extent that you are a rich man who has a lot of money, but you still need 650 Ghana cedis from customers. We go to a payboy and bless it. Come to think of it. I am indebted to you.
Yeah.
I'm unable to pay you. Are you not the very person who should go for and look for a debt collecting company? Why is that I the very person who owes you, now point to you that go to Payboy. It's a debt collecting company. Go and pay so and so amount to him. And when you pay to Payboy, Payboy will now come to me so that I can pay you. I mean, this is Kweku Anansi's story. And what saddens our hearts is that we have security agents, we have regulatory bodies sitting down watching this mess. Okay? This tricks for the past 2 weeks, and all of them have folded their arms. They want Ghanaians to fall into prey. Then later on they will issue presses.
But I'm not sure that's a fair representation of what's happening now, knowing that we're hearing from the Attorney General who's making his intentions clear. 39 charges slapped on Nana Mensah. It's a step in the right direction.
It's a good step in the right direction, even though it came late in the day. But, I mean, since yesterday, it has brought some relief. And I'm happy about the particulars of the people there. That for the work we have done over the past 5 years, people are now bold to come out to disclose how much they are owed in MenzGold, and they believe that if for nothing at all, there should be justice. This is not to say that we are going to relent in our effort to use a civil remedy to retrieve our money. Government is should be still committed. Government should be responsible for what happened. And the example, even the more reason why the people of Ghana, I know you the media have been on our side from day one, and especially as for this house there, what I don't have is an ID card to be a worker here because you've given us all the platforms in the world. That even for the past 2 weeks, bless it, state agencies are sitting down, watching him. Is the more reason why he was able to do what he did from
the first place?
Yes, in the first place, because they were watching. And even we have gone ahead to petition the Inspector General of Police. And as we speak, he has not been invited by the police. He took 5% migration fee from us. He took 9% for Payboy, and now 650. This incident happened after 2018. Yesterday, charges were based on the alleged offenses he committed prior to 2019. What about the ones that are even ongoing? What is the state doing?
I see.
So we commend the Attorney General. We are happy that more or less the case has been moved up to the higher court, and the AG himself went to file. So we expect, what we are calling for now is we want speedy trial. We want daily trial because this one involves about 1 million Ghanaians.
I see.
And we want justice.
And what's not clear?
Justice.
Yeah, what's not clear is government's position on whether or not it will now change its stance, pay you your locked up investments while they freeze assets of NAM1 just to get the money back. government will only, and all we can point to now is the earlier position that the finance minister stated years ago, that we cannot use public funds to pay back your private investments.
I think we have said several times that position was very weak, and we believe that government has changed. I'm not sure he was speaking government's position. Otherwise,
but that's the finance minister. He's the one to release the money.
He doesn't call the shots.
Yeah.
He works under somebody.
Yeah, this
and the
is
president,
the Minister for Finance and Economic Planning.
Yes, we know he said we are not going to the IMF, but when the president spoke, all mouths were shut.
Oh, really?
And now he said we're not going to IMF, but when the president spoke, directed, he had to
So
submit.
you feel President
So that's why we believe that last year
President Akufo-Addo technically say, go ahead, pay MenzGold customers.
That's why
when he's not even standing elections.
That's why last year, don't worry, we don't think the
Yes.
payment of our money is tied to an election. Otherwise, we would have waited when it's election time, then we come up. But we have been very consistent right from day one. I'm saying that position may not be government position because last year, the president himself allowed us to petition him. And I'm not sure if he doesn't have any plan or he doesn't have any means of looking at the issues, he wouldn't have accepted our petition in the first place.
Looking back at the years, you're convinced that we use public funds, we use state money, we use my taxes, your taxes to pay your interest for an investment that you made, received at some point interest on it, and you were enjoying all of that alone, Fred. You didn't even give me a call.
How different from that?
Yeah.
Especially when you look at what happened to
Yes.
the bailout to the customers of the banks. Are we not all Ghanaians? Aren't we all taxpayers? Are we not paying the financial service something tax since 2021? And so if government has that prerogative to bail us out, that's what we are calling for.
And if that should happen, do you want the full refund or you just want your capital?
We just want the principal, what we just invested, not even plus the commission that he collected. Right. If I invested, let's say 100,000, I paid some commission around 5,000. I don't want that. I just want the 100,000, which is on paper that I bought this number of goods. I'm happy that government has admitted, even in the last charge sheet, that some amount of gold was frozen, and some bank accounts and some of the vehicles have been sold. So now these things have been with you for the past 5 years. Some have died. Human beings have died. So I think it's in a good place for government to
and I see that you're very inquisitive about the status of the assets that were frozen. You through an RTI, right to information, opening petition. This is supposed to be the AG?
Yes, we petitioned the AG last year. Asking for disclosures. Okay. We had 14 points issues that we raised in respect of the amount of gold frozen, amount of vehicles seized, and the number sold. You know, they are not the same thing.
Yes.
Then how much was in the bank account that was frozen? Because I'm not sure government will go ahead and freeze an empty account. We are not telling them they should give us the money. We just want to know what is there. Because we are fighting for something, isn't it? And technically, these assets belong to us. So if we know that we have X amount there, then we can use that one as a bargaining chip or platform to go and appeal to the president and please add up. So that's all we're asking for. So I'm not sure this will prejudice the case in court. Just give us
But you've been doing your own checks. Yeah. Honestly speaking, do you feel that MenzGold still has some money in the accounts by now, or of which you can just leverage on?
We still believe that the accounts frozen are still intact with the government, except that maybe...
No, I'm not asking about the accounts. I'm asking about the money in them. You still believe there's still money in MenzGold account?
Yes, because we don't believe that there is an empty account of MenzGold in the custody or being supervised by the government. I mean, that will be another thing.
And this is based on your own investigation?
Yes. We believe that, for that one I can assure you, we believe that there's money. We have, yes. In fact, to the extent that the auctioneer, the cars which were auctioned, we are aware they have submitted their report to government. We are aware there's a figure around. Sold? Yes, last year. AG even said it. We are aware that it's around, I don't want to prejudice it because the case, there's a figure maybe of we can discuss it. So we are aware that some of these things have happened. We just want to know the figure to enable us, to give us some respite, to know that, okay, this is what we have there. And respected Attorney General, you are the legal advisor to the President and the government. Advise the government that while the criminal aspect goes on, the civil one can run concurrently.
So that the two cases will...
Yes, so that we can be paid. We can be paid. Government should give us a bailout, yes.
Officially, on the record now,
yes.
How many people have their funds locked up, outstanding? Because the Defunct MenzGold Company, through its assigns, are putting out the figures as to how many people actually they owe. 60%, in their view, fraudulent claims. They do not accept that. 5,000 settled. The number is almost gone.
In fact, last time he was asked on X.
So what's the official number?
For us, we are a coalition. We are just a part of the entire customer group.
Base.
For the data that we are keeping and managing is a little over 10,000. We are not seeing that.
That's more than double of the amount he's saying he settled.
Oh, as for this gentleman and his words there, we take it with a pinch of salt. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. To be honest with you.
So not even a single person has been paid to any of these 10,000. Are you sure?
Let me show you something.
Have you checked?
Are
you sure?
How many customers in all? He couldn't answer.
Right.
Yet you have done a validation that you claim 60%
is fraudulent.
Is fraught with issues.
Issues, yes.
How did you come by 60%? Isn't that out of the total? Because if something is 60%, it means you knew the 100%. So out of the 100%, you worked out you got 60%. Yet you are not able to disclose the total number of customers involved. So that's why I don't want the public to split their head. Some people are even shaking that he has given them a deadline. Please, he doesn't have... In fact, Namwa doesn't carry the last word on the payment of MenzGold issues.
Do you still have hope that someday this money will be paid? Some say probably it might have been a Ponzi scheme and it's all over for you, Fred.
I have hope. And now my hopes are even brighter because we started this thing. People thought, oh, these people, they will forget about it. I remember last year when we were having a meeting at the Jubilee House. Yeah. There's a senior officer who said that if you people had stopped, I'm not sure the president would have asked that now you bring a petition. So we have hopes that one day, and I want to use this platform to urge my colleagues that keep hopes alive. We are still on it. When Parliament comes from recess, we have gotten the commitment from the Right Honourable Speaker that a 5-member committee will be set up to look into the matter, not investigating or looking into the criminal aspect. They want to look at the civil aspect that will enable us secure our money. And so that's
good news for
you. Yes. It's on Parliament Facebook.
Okay. So on a daily basis, what do you tell your members about, the status of the investment, what the future holds, and what the next step should be?
I am really saddened. Just about 3 days ago, 2 of them also passed. Oh. I want you to encourage yourself. Okay, I know it's very hard. Some visions and dreams have been thwarted, but I still want you to encourage yourself that just make it a point that you have borrowed money and your money is still in investment and we shall retrieve it. I believe that we shall retrieve it. And looking at the issues happening, because some of us, and with my crop of leadership that we are leading this thing, we have been very consistent with this fight, and our words, we have not changed our position that it's the government that should take the responsibility. And we are getting close to that place, yes. So I want you to hold yourselves up. Don't die. I beg you, don't die. There is life at the end of the tunnel. Don't die.
Would you still make more investments if the opportunity presents itself?
I'll be very careful. I'm blessed. I mean, you can attest to it. Because I have fallen a victim, we have been also trying to not to allow other people to go into it. That's why you remember last year we did a story on the on the CD coin thing.
Right.
We killed it at the embryonic stage. Even this very house, when we came to Adum TV on the payboy issue, the very day we did the program, 1 hour later, Yoko went, they heard us because I know they listen. They went and closed down. And the 650, the pushback is from us. So we do not want our people to fall into any trap again, and we don't even want other people to fall into any trap. When we hear of anything, we are more or less have become advocates. We don't want this thing to happen. We should have a clean and a just society, and our regulators and institutions and our leaders to sit up. Some of you are lazy. We pay you, especially the governor of the Bank of Ghana. I don't see why he's refusing to go. You sit on this rot and you still want to be clapped for. I mean, so some of our...
What were you expecting the governor to do?
He should resign. He should resign. He's part of it. He was just issuing...
No, he's part of your woes? He's part of your challenges, the reasons why you're not...
He was just issuing warning. When you could have taken action. If you want to stop... I'm just giving you an example. You see? I am just giving you an example. For the past 2 weeks...
Okay, I recall that
the gentleman is demanding money from
but I
the
recall
public.
that statement from the central bank, warning customers of MenzGold to say, well, just stay away. At some point, the Security and Exchange Commission also came through, indicating that they have remit over the issue. Also took on MenzGold. Yet you are still depositing your money there. So, why then do you want to create the impression that, well, the regulators, the BOT boss and co did not do anything about it?
They failed big time. So the police has seen people robbing people, then the police issue a warning statement to the armed robbers. Is that how they should do it? People are robbing, stealing at a joint. Then the police just comes, the PR department, they issue a statement. Hey, stop robbing. There's an armed robbery going there.
Fred Forson, this is not the Ghana Police Service. You're referring to the Bank of Ghana.
It's the same thing. They have that authority.
Yeah.
They could easily even, in fact, we have petitioned since 16th August. They should have even rather prompt the security agencies that what this gentleman is doing is not good. Go after him. You are not doing it. Even up to now, even their warning has not come. 2 weeks in the day, their warning cry say to tell the people that no, this 650 thing or this issue about somebody, from what Kwekwe read, they don't even have an office. They are operating online. So even when you go and pay your money, you are paying the money to faceless people. Why can't they even prompt the security agencies that from the studies that we have done, or we have been following this thing for the past 1 week or 2 weeks, we think you have to go and invite them.
On the tangent of your argument, am I getting a sense that your members are trying to join this whole protest against the POG boss? Is that a suspicion? That some of your members want to...
We will support the people who are protesting against him, because, I mean, that man, he should have left long time. I'm a Ghanaian, I also pay tax. How do we lose 60 billion? How on earth? This thing, he doesn't even need... I wonder, he's a PhD holder. Does it mean that when...
So your members are forcing you to join the protest?
I'm saying that we support the argument that he should leave. We are Ghanaians. Even though we are MenzGold customers, we are minding our own business there. But the generality of it, because the hardships we are facing, this one is triple. We are already in hardship. Now there's no money. There's no money.
So are you going?
Is he telling... When the times come, well, we have not decided, but that is what we are also watching the scene. When the time comes, I don't want her to drift so much into that, but I'm not sure why he's still there. What is he looking for? Does it mean that when he leaves Bank of Ghana, he cannot eat? You are a PhD holder.
Okay.
What jacket you have? Leave the
I see. And we need to go, Fred, but let's see what the case will be. Any message to the people of Ghana who say, well, by now, you should just be taking that as part of life. Relax, just calm down, and let things slide.
Blessed, you are trying very hard for us to forget about.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. If your money comes, obviously you give me some, maybe some 10% somewhere. But anyway,
so, you know that it's not possible that we can forget about the money. But what I believe is that I still want our people. Coming Sunday, we shall have a general meeting at Christ Apostolic Church, La Paz, opposite. Closer to a thermal station.
Okay.
So we are inviting all the customers, the genuine customers, come. Okay. Then please take heart, take it cool. Using the due process takes time, but at the end of it all, we shall laugh.
Okay. Would that include myself?
Yes. I'll break the news to you.
And that's why we're smiling.
And I mean,
I'm sure.
for what you have done for us. Yeah. When we get our money, I know you have a relative or somebody who is affected. Wow. So when it happens, I'm sure it will be a plus to you because you have done a
Yeah,
human
why my
job.
family member? You are my,
We
you're my brother
and
too.
you, yes,
Stop
yes,
that.
so-
I mean,
so
don't do that.
When I smile, you also
Your
smile.
money is on the way and you don't want to give me some.
Oh,
Anyway, we're grateful to Fred Fossey for joining us, convener for the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of MenzGold. This is the AM show. We're coming with AM Business after this. Please stay.